What's the best pickup line you've ever heard? When I was teaching kindergarten, one of my students, who knew I love video games, dropped this one on me: "You're pretty. You should come to my house after school and we can play Little Big Planet. My mom makes great snacks." His mom and I had a good laugh about it at pickup time. This girl I used to work with and I went to a bar after work and we're having fun, and she leans over to tell me a joke. And she says, 3 boy mice and a girl mouse were all stuck in a room with no doors and no windows. One of the boy mice asked the girl mouse how to get out, and she said, "Sleep with me tonight, and I'll tell you in the morning." Next day he is gone. The second boy mouse asks the girl mouse how he got out, and she says, "Sleep with me tonight, and I'll tell you in the morning." Next day, he's gone too. So now the girl telling me this joke says to me, "Do you want to know how the last mouse gets out of the box?" And I say yes. And she says, "Sleep with me tonight, and I'll tell you in the morning." All this while staring me in the eyes and smiling. I said, "Check please, bartender." I forgot to ask her in the morning, but that was the best pickup line I've ever heard. A woman once told me every time I drink tequila I wind up sleeping with someone, and then proceeded to take a shot of tequila while holding eye contact with me. A million years ago, when you could smoke inside, a guy approached me at a diner and asked, "Are you left-handed?" Me, "No, why?" Zero him, "I noticed you smoke with your left hand. And you have a spectacular ass." Caught me so off guard, and I was amused. A regular at a bar I worked at dropped this gem on a girl: "I'd buy you a drink, but I'd be jealous of the glass." I groaned so loud she laughed at me and walked away from him. I was at my friend's house, and his 5-year-old brother grabbed one of our friends by the hand and asked if he could play her a song on his guitar. She said yes. He picked up his guitar but stopped just before strumming it, thought for about 30 seconds, and said, "I don't know any songs for princesses." That little kid had way more game than 19-year-old me had. It was the first snowfall of the season. The person and I were walking around campus together. We were friends who were heading out to grab a snack in between classes. We were quietly walking when the person suddenly said to me, "The snow looks beautiful today." In my native language, my name means snow/frost/ice. Turned out they were hitting on me, and I didn't realize until later. Once was at a festival where an org were giving out free condoms at a booth. One of the ladies are talking to a guy and a girl saying, "The condoms are free, by the way, take as many as you want." "Oh, but we don't have unlimited stock, so please don't take more than you need." The girl picks up a condom, turns to the guy, and says, "Wanna share?" Went to a restaurant where a girl I knew from high school ended up being our waitress. Me, "What time do you get off?" Her, "Around 5 or so." Me, "Want to get off again after that?" To my amazement, it actually worked. On Halloween, a buddy of mine was dressed as a Viking. He asked a girl if she wanted to hear his Viking pickup line. She said yeah. So he literally picked her up and threw her over his shoulder and said he was taking her back to the boat. They dated for almost a year. At a college Halloween party, I was dressed up as Kazooie, although everyone assumed I was an angry bird, and I walked up to a woman dressed up as a golfer and told her that she could score a birdie tonight. A couple of women yelled to a buddy and I on the street, "Hey pretty boys, I would pay for you to glaze my donut." This is a rough translation from Spanish, but it was hilarious and super unexpected, lol. It's a line from the movie Jackie Brown. It's short and simple, which makes it all the better. Bartender *, "Can I get you anything?" Jackie *, "I'm fine." Bartender *, "Yes, you are." A long time ago, I worked in the nightclub scene. End of the night, lights are up and the last stragglers are paying their tabs or trolling. One of our trawlers walks up to a woman signing her tab at the bar and interrupts her with, "Listen, when you get done here, let's go back to your place, and I'll fuck you in the ass for 15 minutes, leave, and never call you again, because that's all the better you're going to do." The whole club went silent as everyone heard what he said. Staff literally stopped in their tracks to see what would happen next. Real world slow motion shit. She sighed, her tab grabbed his hand, and they left together. When I was a student at university, I saw a pretty girl eating a particular brand of yogurt at the crowded dining hall before morning classes. I had the same brand of yogurt on my tray. I asked if I could sit at her table, and she nodded. I looked across the table at her and pointed at her yogurt and said with a big schmucky smile, "Yo, play or mine?" It was said with humor and not as a pickup line. I ended up marrying that pretty girl. Amazing, given the horrible first line. We were just joking around over text about some of our classes, and she goes, "Personally, my favorite is anatomy. I'd let you help me study later if you want." I replied, "I'd offer to help you with chemistry, but I think we've already got that one figured out." I think we stunned each other into silence. I was late for my ride to Comic Con Dragon Con, so I was running down the side of the road in a rough area of downtown Atlanta while wearing a giant hoop-skirt 17th century gown. A rather tipsy-seeming gentleman did a full double take and said loudly, "That's the best goddamn thing I've seen since 1978. I'm so curious what happened in 1978. It's not a pickup line as such, but this guy once said to me in passing, "Giarrrll, I want to feed you steak and grapes," and I have never forgotten. Do you sleep on your stomach? If not, do you mind if I do? Best one that worked for me was, "Is my tie straight?" In every case, the woman I was talking to would look it over, make a microscopic adjustment, pat it down to ensure it was laying flat, and say something there. Perfect. So she has already gotten up close, broken the touch barrier, taken some ownership of my appearance, and has said that the result looks good. Then I say, "I'm meeting someone today." Curiosity engaged, she asks, "Who?" I say, "Hopefully, you." That always got a smile. Didn't always work, but worked better than anything else I ever tried. Want to grab a pizza and fuck? She looks at him, completely disgusted. What, you don't like pizza? My friend, circa 2007. I wish I was as tall as you, can I borrow a few inches? I was at the gym, at the locker room, and this girl saw me with the same towel. She said, "We have the same towel," and I was like, "True, haha." Then, she said, "I wonder if we have the same phone number, too. Wanna check?" I told her I already had a girlfriend, but I wished her the best, because she deserves the world. I saw a girl walking down the street once, and her shoe was untied, so I bent down, started tying it, and said, "I wouldn't want you falling for anyone else." I was with a lot of friends at the time who lost it, so it didn't go anywhere, but it seemed like it worked. The better part is one of my buddies was like, "Oh shit, that's amazing, I got to try that," and got so excited, did the same thing, and the person he chose was wearing sandals, and just went, "What the fuck are you doing?" He panicked and just ran away. Funniest thing ever. Buddy of mine just graduated the fire academy, this was 30 years ago. He and another graduate were at their graduation party at a bar, when they were chatting up some girls. His friend was talking to a taller chick, when she mentioned she might be too tall for him. His buddy, the shorter dude, remarked, "I bet you're worth the climb." I was hanging out with this girl, and we were at that stage where we were 1:1 but were trying to decide if we were just friends, so I followed procedure and let her break the touch barrier first. I reciprocated as we were sitting at this bar, having a beer together after our other friends had left. She says, "Can I ask you a question?" And I think she's going to say, "Do you like me?" or something like that. Instead, she says, "I've always wanted to mess around with a guy's ass. Are you down for that?" It was direct, and it worked for her. I work at a grocery store, and some sugar spilled on my belt, so this little old lady said, "Look. It's your sweetness spilling out," just about cried. Edit, I'm a girl and all y'all's comments about anything else, but sugar, are weird as hell. Shorter guy here, 5'6" / 167 cm. I was working on a design project all day with my classmate Kathy in college. We ended up flirting and teasing each other. I mentioned something about taller guys have it easier to date her. She was much taller than me by 4" / 10 cm. She replied, "We're all the same height in bed." When I was 20, I was hanging out with my friend in a pizza bar where he was flirting with a waitress near closing. She said to him, "My roommate has a waterbed and is gone for a week, but they locked their door. Do you know how to pick locks?" I just said, "Welp, time for me to go. See you later."